Hey everyone. I'm going to show you how to reset the image thumbnails in the Windows Settings app that displays in the background section of the Personalization settings in Windows. Now, I'm using Windows 11, so it might look a little bit different, but if you're using Windows 10, pretty much everything that I'm going to walk you through right now will still apply. It might just look a little bit different is all. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you what the actual issue is that I'm going to be addressing. So right now you can see I have a nice little image here as my desktop wallpaper. And what I'm going to do is very quickly I'm going to go to Unsplash here and just download a couple images to set as my background. So I'm just going to download the first three here. That's 1, 2, and this is the third one. There we go. I'm going to clear out my downloads just because I like to keep things nice and organized. Okay, so I have 3 images that I just downloaded, and they're right here. If I open up File Explorer, like you see on your screen here, I'm in my download section, and there's the 3 images that I just downloaded. Before I do anything with these images now, I want to open up the Settings app just to give you an idea of what this issue actually is. So I'm going to go to the Start menu here. Again, I'm using Windows 11, so it's going to look a little different, but Windows 10, you'll have the Start menu obviously by default over in the left-hand corner over here. But I'm just going to open this up. I'm going to go to the gear icon. It's still a gear icon in Windows 10 as well, so it'll be the same basic directions here. And then I'm going to go down to Personalization. Now the Settings app obviously right now that you see, if you're using Windows 10, will look a little different, but it's still labeled as Personalization in the Settings app in Windows 10, even though it looks a little different than what you might see right now. And then I'm going to go to where it says Background. Now you can see that I have my recent image thumbnails right here on the screen. And these are 5 slots of images. I've already done this prior to recording, so this is the way that these images would be displayed in their default state. So without having changed anything in terms of wallpaper or images or anything like that, if you were to just install the operating system brand new and you were to open the Settings app, this is the way right now that the recent images would look. These are the default images for Windows 11. If you're using Windows 10, obviously there'd be a little bit different images there, but the same idea. So now if I go back to Windows Explorer, I have my 3 images I downloaded. Let me just set them very quickly as the wallpaper. So there's the first image, and you can see the image is now set as the wallpaper. Now if I set the next one, just to have a few things in the system to display the issue. There's the second one, and now the third one. And give it a second here. There it is. Okay, so we've changed the wallpaper now 3 different times. So now, if we go back into the Settings app, you see where it says Recent Images in the same place we just were. Those images have been replaced by the recent ones. Now, if you are only using certain images and you're fine with just being able to have kind of a shortcut to be able to just click on an image and it would, you can see here, update and change, that's fine. That can be good depending on your use case. But the issue comes in if you accidentally set something as your background, or if you had an image that you thought you liked, but for whatever reason, maybe it's too bright on your eyes or what have you. How do you get rid of it from this list? There is no way to do that natively in Windows, but I'm going to show you how to get rid of these images and reset this to where it would be back to the default state like you saw at the beginning of this video. We're going to do that by going into what's called the Registry Editor in Windows. So we're going to go to the Start menu. Again, I'm in Windows 11. If you're in Windows 10, the same basic directions will apply. Obviously, your Start menu will be over in the left-hand side of the screen instead of the center. When I open that up, I'm just going to go to the Search area here. I'm going to type in REG to bring up what's called the Registry Editor in Windows. I'm going to click on that. It's going to give me this box asking for user account control permission, and I'm going to say yes. And this is the Registry Editor. Now, before I start to do anything, I do want to mention that as long as you follow the directions that I'm going to walk you through right now, you're going to be totally fine. But I do want to caution people, if you don't have a lot of background with computers or working in the Windows operating system in general, you do not want to do anything in the Registry Editor that in any way that you're in any way unsure of, because it can cause a lot of problems. So as long as you follow the directions here, you're going to be totally fine. So all we're going to do is we're going to go up to the file path bar here at the top. I'm going to highlight that where it says computer. I'm just going to type in the following path. Now I will also put this into the comments section of the video here, so you can just copy and paste if you need that. And I'll also probably, if I have time here, try to address another way that I kind of deal with this as well. So we're going to type in H key. H keys, missed the K there. Underscore. We're going to type in current underscore user backslash, which should be located right above your enter key on the keyboard. Software, another backslash, and then we're going to type in Microsoft backslash Windows, almost there, backslash current version, all one word, and then another backslash Explorer, and then finally last one, Wallpapers, and that's plural, not just wallpaper, singular. Now I'm just going to hit the enter key, and it's going to take me directly to the area in the file tree that we need to be in the Registry Editor. So we have specifically 5 items here that we're going to be selecting. So you see where it says background history path 0, and it lists basically 5 items from 0 all the way to 4. So there are 5 items here altogether. Background history path 4 at the bottom of the list there. So I have the first one selected, background history path 0. I'm going to hold down the shift key while that's still highlighted in blue. And then I'm going to click the very last item, and that will select everything in between those 2 areas that I just defined. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, and I'm going to hit delete, and that's it. So when I delete this, it's going to ask me if I'm sure, because again, doing things in the Registry Editor can be very dangerous if you don't understand what you're actually doing. But it's totally okay to delete these. So I'm going to hit yes. Now there are only those 3 items left. That's fine. You don't need to do anything with those. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to close up the rest of this file tree on the left-hand side of the screen there. Because you don't have to do this, but it essentially will stay in the same state unless you collapse all the folders in the file tree. And I just like to keep things nice and organized. So as I scroll up the list here, we're almost there. Close that, collapse that, and finally there. All right, so we have all the file tree items collapsed. I can just close out of that, and now I can close out of the Settings app. So now, if I go back into the Settings app, Start menu, gear icon, and there we go. Then I go over to Personalization and Background. And there you go. In the recent image section of Personalization and Background, all of the images that are listed there as thumbnails have now been reset to their default states, showing the original Windows wallpapers as if you had never changed anything in the background. Now keep in mind, this does nothing in terms of actually deleting files in the system. So you don't have to worry, oh, what if I want those wallpapers eventually? Those wallpapers will always be there unless you specifically go to the files themselves and delete them. All we did was essentially delete what you can think of as shortcuts that would display in this area of the settings app. So you're not actually removing anything that is necessary from the system. It's just you were able to kind of reset the shortcuts. So now it displays it as if you had never changed anything on the background. Even though the wallpaper that you may have set, if I close this, is still displayed. So nothing's changed there. If I go into my downloads folder and explore, those 3 images I originally downloaded are all still there. The default Windows images are still in the system. Nothing is deleted there. It was just those shortcuts. So that's something that I deal with quite a bit, just because, again, I like to change my wallpaper fairly frequently, and I also like to kind of keep the system nice and clean and organized and in a somewhat default state. So hopefully that helps, and that'll be it for today. Thanks.